And because right after the war, price of gold didn't go up. Gold didn't start going up until 1962. And we got little flurries in the free market in London. One of the good things is I got a great memory, and I lived through all this, so I know what happened. But the shares do well in either environment, but the coins do too. So you should own both. If you like to take risk, then you would own shares.
Harry Schultz and others have discussed the possibility of a windfall profits tax on gold sales, such as a huge tax on selling stocks in a few years. Do you feel that the windfall profit tax on gold sales or mining stocks is a probability in the future?
Absolutely not. And I don't even know why they're talking about it. They're creating their own opposition. It's idiotic. And I haven't heard anything anywhere about such a thing except in a few publications. So I do not see anything like that happening. I don't see it happening to anything. If they were ever going to put windfall profit taxes on, they should have put it on the oil companies when oil went up to $147 a barrel. So if they're not going to do it at oil, they made billions and billions and billions. If they don't do it to oil, they're not going to do it to gold or gold shares or anything like that. It just isn't going to happen.
According to Russia's Pravda newspaper, the vice president of the Academy for Geopolitical Sciences believes that Russia would first need to attack USA's largest banks. A successful attack would paralyze the entire dollar-dependent economy. This is the number one goal in case of war. We would need to destroy large banks in London as well, the Colonel General said. The 5 targets identified which need to be destroyed are the FDIC offices in Washington, Dallas, Chicago, which handles the depositors' funds, thus creating panic and run on the banks. General Electric, which stands on crossroads of several economical sectors impacting thousands of companies and millions of jobs. Freddie and Fannie, the U.S. Treasury, and the Federal Reserve System.
And how would they attack them?
Just as we would need to destroy large banks in London as well.
But they don't say how.
They don't say how.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine that they would try to do it through the foreign exchange market. Of course, they have the ability to be able to use missiles against the United States were they to want to do that. But on the other hand, the United States has defenses, so I don't know what the answer to that is. I've never heard the question before. I've never heard, nor did I see that this general made these statements. I'm surprised that I haven't seen them. And but if there is a war with Russia, I would assume they'd do something like that. Why not? I mean, we just told them not too long ago that we're going to put missiles in Poland on their border and radar in the Czech Republic close to their border. I don't think they were too happy about that. It's war provocation, there's no question. I mean, the illuminous warmongers in Washington are trying to bait the Russians into another war.
Then he has another question about Russia's president. These are from Ivan. Russia's president has dismissed the head of the country's military intelligence agency as well as military service after he reportedly opposed reforms of the armed forces. General Korobelnikov had been the head of the country's largest spying agency, known as the GRU, since 1997. The GRU was established by Leon Trotsky, in 1918. Is this signaling a change in Russia's strategy?
I don't know about strategy, but there may be an internal shakeup. One group might want to go one way, and another group might want to go another. I used to spy in the GRU, and also the KGB, and the Stasi, and I used to also intercept all the diplomatic operators going out of Russia, and so I got a pretty good idea what they were up to. It was a real exciting job. I enjoyed it, and but anyway, we'll just have to see.
His other questions is the Freddie Mac CFO David Kellerman is floating around on the internet, and he wants to know if this article is credible, that he was suicided by the Israeli Mossad after disclosure of him funneling of over $50 billion in U.S. government funds to Israel, which eventually led to the collapse of the American mortgage giant. Is this credible?
I don't know, and if I had to guess, I would say I don't think so. I just don't know, but if I had to guess, I would say I don't think so. And I know where the information came from, and very often the information from that source is not good. And so I reserve judgment.
This is those polo ponies that died, and according to CNN, the pharmacy that supplied medicine for polo ponies that later died says the medicine was incorrectly prepared. He says, I bet all the Venezuela's horses were killed. U.S. revenge.
Don't know. Your guess is as good as anybody's. And they certainly weren't owned by the Venezuelan government, so it was a private owner, so I don't see the connection. I mean, I just don't.
And I've forgotten, Mick sent a question over. He listened to the program on Wednesday, and he was reminded how the government manipulates data. He realized that the CPI numbers are not correct, in which he talks about the CPI was decreased 0.4% over the last year. And this is the first 12-month decline since August of 1955. And then last month, the CPI, it went down 0.1%. So what is going on here? That was his Wednesday question. Then he said he knows how the government manipulates the data. He said, where does all this money go to cause an unprecedented drop of the M1 multiplier? Is the M1 multiplier data also not correct? If all this money is being hidden by the few, then could it be used to buy all the available gold at some point in time?
Well, I don't know that they want all the available gold, but the figures, all of the figures you get from Washington and Mickey Mouse, I mean, you don't know what to believe. And even when we give estimates of M3, we're close, but we're guessing. And, I got a figure of 19.2% on the U6, proper interpretation, and John Williams got 9.8%, so the discrepancy is not very big, but the government's got 16.2. So with that said, we're using a different formula than they are. And so everything you look at, on employment and all of the government statistics, they print what they want to print. It has nothing to do with reality. I mean, they lie about everything. I mean, you can't trust them to do anything.
And we'll get the balance of the question. And, Chris, I have your email, and I promise you'll be the first question on Monday. So we will get to your question on Monday, I promise. And I'll tattoo it on I'll write it on my hand until then. But anyway, we're out of time. I want everyone to be safe this weekend. Have a great weekend. We'll be back on Monday. Thank you, Bob, for joining us today. Until then, have a great weekend. Be safe, and God bless. Bye-bye, Bob.